What's going on, Islander fans? Sorry for the delay there. I wanted to get this out a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. Uh, Welcome and all to the Isles Talk vlogcast, season 2, episode 2. We're gonna make this kind of short and sweet for a little bit. I know there's still football going on fairly soon, uh, and honestly, I was asked to do this by a couple of people to try to just um, simmer down some of the fears that may have been going on uh, in Islander land here, social media, fans alike. So, uh, welcome back. Should be a very interesting show. Uh, Real quick, I normally don't do this. This is usually, I don't look at the standings. I don't look at any of the stats, at least until game 15. But because of, I guess, the overall fear of what's been going on from a lot of people, I was asked to come up with my own version of what's been going on the first 8 games. And we're also going to talk about Oliver Wahlstrom in this show. Not going to be long. I don't think there's really going to be an issue here. There will be with some fans, but throughout the show, we're going to take a look at the standings. We're going to take a look at the goal pace for the offense. We're going to take a look at the overall record. We're going to take a look at the schedule that they had, and we're going to dive into Oliver Wahlstrom. And if there's enough time, we're going to go. I'll take your questions, and we'll end the show there. But welcome. Here we go. First 8 games, Islanders went 5-3. Not bad, considering that the Islanders went 5-4-1. Their first 10 games last year, and you know, and they also did 5-4-1 in 2017-18. And if you go all the way back to 2015-16, they started off the season with 6-2-1, or 6-2-2. Excuse me, 6-2-2. I don't know how to do math right now. So it's a good start. They escaped that little 8 points in 10 games, which has been happening to quite a few teams so far this year. But we're going to get into that a little later on in another episode. So, yeah, Western Conference, look out. But that'll be another episode for another time. So, the biggest fear I've seen on social media and whatnot are the goals. Not enough goal scoring. We don't have that top 6 winger. And they're correct about the top 6 winger. They didn't get a top 6 winger. However, Anthony Beauvillier right now is on pace for 21 points. I think he's on pace for like 50 some odd points. I'm sorry, he's on pace for 21 goals, and he's got roughly on pace for like mid 50 points. Okay. In this system, that's a top 6 forward. So, what's been going on? The Islanders are getting the help from within, which is what I was hoping for when I wrote down my Islanders season preview. So, there's nothing really going on except that the Islanders have struggled to a degree through the first 8 games. Fans still haven't gotten their top 6 winger. They don't need one. And allow me to explain why. Again, I normally don't do these stats until like game 15 or 16, but to the fans' credit, the Islanders are currently on pace for 212 goals. That's a little low. Full marks to the fans here on this one. However, not everyone has scored yet. You throw in a goal by Derek Brassard or anyone who hasn't really scored, the Islanders are on pace for 240. If you were to ask the Islanders to score 4 goals 3 more times this year, and they continue to win 3-1, 3-2, however they've been doing it, they're up to 240 goals. I mean, you're only 3 goals short after 8 games. It's this is not drastic here, guys. Um, Matt Barzal, 41 goal pace. Anthony Beauvillier, 21 goal pace. Josh Bailey, 31 goal pace. Am I expecting this the entire season? No. Should you? No. Um, Give it a little more time. Give it a little more time. What is concerning to me, Adam Pellick, Ryan Pullock, Nick Leddy. Who else am I missing? There I am. I got Pellick, I got Pullock, I got Leddy. They've all got like 1 point each. And that's not good. That's not good. That's more concerning. Ryan Pullock only having 1 point so far this season. That's not good. That could be a reason why the Islanders are not scoring enough offense because the defense are not getting involved enough. Devon Tays is, Johnny Boychuk is, no one else seems to be. So the more I think, and especially from Ryan Pullock, if Ryan Pullock can get something together, I think you're going to see some of these other players, their numbers are going to improve as well. So, but again, for me, the strength of this team has always been defense and goaltending. And I'm more concerned about what happens if the defense slips. What happens if they just have, say, like a Dougie weight loss? What happens if the players don't play the system that they're supposed to play? What if they don't stick to the system? Well, we're going to discuss that. Semyon Varlamov, his goals against average right now is at 2.54. Thomas Greiss is at 2.21. These guys, including the empty net goal now, they're on pace to give up 197 goals. 197, guys. And for those of you who have read my Islander season preview on ilestalk.com, if you haven't, go ahead and read it. For all of the years that the Islanders have scored 217 goals or less, the Islanders have made the playoffs. And right now, they're on pace for 197. So the system is still working. The system is still working. Why? Because it's a defensive first system. So what happened to the offense? Why aren't we getting enough offense? Well, let's put it to you this way. Again, it's the first 8 games. Okay. We lost to the Edmonton Oilers. Remember, our record was 5-3. We lost to the Edmonton Oilers, we lost to the Carolina Hurricanes, and we lost to the Washington Capitals on our first game. So let's go with the Capitals first. Honestly, we know this by now. They are like the older sibling of the New York Islanders. Same parents, aka coaching. Only the Washington Capitals decided to move out of their house. They wanted to spread their rings. They wanted to do it better without mom and dad around, aka the coaches. Okay. Coaches decided to stay with the Islanders. And now we're learning everything that the Capitals have been learning. Only the Capitals know how to win and suffocate teams in the third period, especially the Islanders. Okay, when I saw that first game, I just saw a hockey version to a tennis match, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's just the way the games were going to be. The Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes, they had only lost once. Actually, I don't even think Edmonton had lost at all when they were playing the Islanders. And even right now, I believe the Edmonton Oilers are 7-1. The Oilers are 7-1, and before their two-game losing streak, the Carolina Hurricanes were 6-1. So the Islanders were losing to one of the two, well, two of the hottest teams in the NHL to start the season. Okay, the Colorado Avalanche have the hottest record, but the Oilers still have the second hottest record. How are you? And before the two losses in a row, Carolina was at number 3, right around the Sabres too. They were still like 3 or 4. So you got to give the Islanders a little bit of slack here. Losing to two of the hottest teams, and you're losing to like an older sibling in the Washington Capitals. It's going to happen. Yes, this is about hockey. Um, so there's that. Now, when it comes to playing into the system, the Islanders, when in those 3 losses, the Islanders gave up close to 4 goals a game. You're not going to win. And they only ended up scoring 1.5 goals, 1.6 goals in 3 of those games. So, you're not going to, when you're bad, you're bad. And that's what happened to the Islanders when they weren't playing to their system. Now, when they were playing the system, the Islanders were averaging 3.2 goals a game, and they're only giving up 1.4 in all of those wins. It's almost a 2-to-1 ratio. Actually, it is more than a 2-to-1 ratio. When they play the system, they win. They don't win in big fashion, but they do win. Now, another explanation or another possible reason why the Islanders are not scoring as much is the fact that every single team that we've played so far this year, save for the Winnipeg Jets, they're all defensive-minded teams. They're all defensive-minded teams. The Capitals, Carolina, Edmonton's only giving up 2.5 goals a game. Imagine that. St. Louis, Columbus, Florida. They're all defensive-minded teams, guys. They're in the same mold as the Islanders. It's going to be defense and forechecking first. So they're not going to get a lot of goals against these guys. It's just not going to happen. So can I understand the Islanders are only on a 211 goal pace, 212? Sure. Am I overly concerned? No, I'm not. Not when I know the goaltending and the defense are still there. 197 goal pace. Again, it's only 8 games. It's only 8 games. There's more there's more games to go here. A lot more. Um Give it a little more time, Isles fans. Give it a little more time. Make sure that we need to, make sure that the players are still sticking to the system. And when they do lose, were they sticking to the system? If they were sticking to the system and constantly losing, then yes, we have a case of there's not enough offense on this team to start the first 8 games. Okay, but the Islanders continued to lose when there wasn't anything going on with their system that night. Honestly, I was at that Edmonton game at the Coliseum, and I swear I was looking at a Dougie weight loss. That's what that was. It was a Dougie weight loss. They didn't play to the system. Did not play to the system. So, what does this have to do with Oliver Wahlstrom? Okay. I know a lot of people are very fond of Oliver Wahlstrom, and rightfully so. Okay. Um, I like the idea that he came up because of an injury to Jordan Eberle. Not that I want to see Eberle injured, but it was the right reason. He had a really good camp. He had a really good camp, and with injuries occurring the way they have, Oliver Wahlstrom coming up made some sense. But a lot of people were wondering, or they still are wondering, why isn't Oliver Wahlstrom on the first line? Why is Tommy Kuhnhackl on the first line? Why is Michael Dal Cole on the second line? Why isn't Oliver Wahlstrom up with Matt Barzal? Well, kind of obvious. It's not the answer Islander fans want, but it's kind of the obvious answer. Who has more experience with the Barry Trotz system? Tommy Kuhnhackl or Oliver Wahlstrom? Tommy Kuhnhackl. Who fits the system better? Michael Dal Cole or Oliver Wahlstrom? Due to the lack of games played by Oliver Wahlstrom, I'm going to go with Michael Dal Cole. That's it, guys. It's the system. I think everyone's too worried about each of the separate lines. And I don't think people in general, I don't think they understand how well the system works when there are players who are already comfortable with it. I think that's why you're going to see an improvement from this team this year to begin with, anyway. Oliver Wahlstrom, in all honesty, since he was drafted, has played a total of 44 games. Is that right? 36? 51. Excuse me. As of this conversation, 51. I forgot the World Junior Championships. 51. Since Oliver Wahlstrom was drafted, he's only played in 51 total games. 36 at Boston College. Okay, so more than half of those games weren't even professional. 7 games at the World Junior Championships, which I just mentioned. So that's 40 out of the 70. Okay. This guy's played in 10 AHL games, 5 in the playoffs, 5 from this year, and 3 NHL games. That's it. 13 professional games. And there are a lot of people, fans, media, even outside of Long Island. They want Wahlstrom on the top 6 line. You're telling me you're going to put a kid with 13 professional games up with on the first line with Matt Barzal and a system that he barely knows? I don't think so. It doesn't make sense. To me, that's a Mike Milbury philosophy. Oh, the kid's got 7 points in 10 AHL games. Let's bring him up because he's got nothing left to prove. Folks, that's been the absolute Achilles heel for the Islanders from basically 1993 to 2016. That's almost a Mike Milbury philosophy there. It doesn't work. There's too many years of that to prove that. Yes, Oliver Wahlstrom looks good right now. He's doing things that a lot of people want to see. But if you were to ask me who would I'd rather have in the lineup right now, it would be Jordan Eberle over Oliver Wahlstrom. Okay. And people will be like, well, we'd rather have Oliver Wahlstrom than Michael Dal Cole. Well, Michael Dal Cole, in all honesty, is a mid-6 forward. You can put him on the second line. You can put him on the third line. Oliver Wahlstrom should only be a top 6 forward. And when Jordan Eberle comes back, I think the Islanders are going to send Oliver Wahlstrom back down to the minors. Excuse me. I do. I think they're going to send him back down to the minors. Simply looking good, I don't think is what the Islanders want from Oliver Wahlstrom. They want him to excel when he finally comes up here full time. I think the Islanders are going to give Michael Dal Cole at least another 4 to 6 weeks to see what he can do, to show the organization that he does in fact belong. And I think they're going to give Oliver Wahlstrom more time down in Bridgeport, a lot of time down in Bridgeport. They're going to have him work on stuff that honestly every player should be working on down there. And when he comes back up, and he will be back up at some point, and when he comes back up, he'll be better. He might be ready then. He looks good now. Is he putting up the production? Not yet. Again, it's only 3 games for him. And the Islanders have only played 8 games. It's still very early on in the season. But is there a rush to bring up Oliver Wahlstrom? There shouldn't be, but there is. And it's a little bit of it's a from an outsider's perspective here. It's like the fans against the Islanders here. The fans want that more scoring, and the Islanders are more concerned about the development. But what we're dealing with here is a very tough schedule. The first 8 games. Okay, again, go through those teams. The Capitals, Carolina, Florida, Columbus, St. Louis. They're all defensive-minded teams, folks. That's a pretty tough schedule through the first 8 games. Let's see what happens when we're not playing defensive-minded teams and there's a little bit more on the offensive side. Let's see if we can play teams that probably are not on pace for a playoff spot, or teams that are just playing mediocre and they're not hot. Their 9th game against Arizona coming up on Thursday is no slouch. They're doing really well right now. They're one of the hotter teams. I don't think the Islanders should take them for granted. After that, the schedule tends to lighten up just a little bit. So we'll see if the offense kicks in. So let's play the scenario. Jordan Eberle eventually comes back. Do the Islanders send Oliver Wahlstrom down? I think they will. I think it's also a numbers game. He's the only one really on an entry-level contract. They can send him back down. And I think they're honestly going to give Michael Dal Cole another 4 to 6 weeks to show what he can do. So that's going to take us right into Thanksgiving weekend, or the American Thanksgiving holiday. And that's when we should be seeing Andrew Ladd return to the lineup. He'll probably have a conditioning stint with Bridgeport, a la 5 games. However long he is down there, he's going to have his own training camp. And then when he comes back, what are the Islanders going to do? Michael Dal Cole right now pretty much will dictate what happens to Oliver Wahlstrom, what happens to Andrew Ladd, so on and so forth. So in terms of the overall record, the Islanders are safe. The Islanders do not have to make a move or trade or anything else through that, probably not until Christmas. Maybe even New Year's, mid-January, okay? I normally don't start eliminating teams until it's 31 games, unless you're for instance, right now, Minnesota bad, or the Dallas Stars bad, or the Ottawa Senators bad. You can do that, and that's like a Captain Obvious moment. But the real bulk of eliminating teams in the playoffs, they don't occur until like halfway through the playoffs. I'm sorry, halfway through the regular season. So you're looking at Christmas, you're looking at that late holiday season where you're going to get a better picture of where the Islanders are. Um, I don't see them suffering, guys. I definitely don't see them seventh or eighth place. I never did. Right now I don't even think I can put them in sixth place. The defense is working. The goaltending is working. That should have been the main concern for everybody right now. 6 out of the 8 games against really good defensive teams, even Edmonton. I'm including Edmonton in that. 2.5 goals a game that they're giving up on. Who saw that one coming? No one. But I got to put them in that category. Yes, their offense is dominating. That's true. But their goaltenders have stepped up. This is a different Edmonton team right now. But other than that, all those other teams I just listed, they're all defensive-minded teams, guys. They're all forechecking teams. Those are your 2-1, 3-2 type of teams that usually tend to win like that. Give the Islanders a little more time. For now, we need to see what we're going to get out of Michael Del Cole. Another player to really watch is Derek Brassard, -5 through 8 games. His faceoff percentage is great. I'm still waiting on, at least another goal or two. Let him get accustomed to the system. But if I'm I don't want to say if I'm the Islanders, but I wouldn't expect the Islanders to make really any kind of moves until Thanksgiving. Uh, we have to see when Casey Zizekas comes back. We have to see when Jordan Eberle comes back, and we need to see when Andrew Ladd comes back. So there we go, guys. That was pretty much it in a nutshell. Stay the course. Everything's going to be fine. The offense is going to wake up. The rest of the team offense is going to wake up. Let's put you that way. The rest of the team offense is going to wake up. As long as as long as the Islanders stick to their system and they play within their system, you're going to get a lot of those wins. We got Arizona and we got Ottawa coming up. There are going to be some difficult games. I'm not taking Arizona for granted. And Ottawa just looks too easy. If you're an Islander fan, if nothing's ever easy with the Islanders. If the Islanders can win the next 2 in a row, great. Kick back, relax a little bit longer. We'll be back in another week or two to discuss those 2 games. We'll discuss the winning going on. We'll discuss, the offense if that's improved. But really, it's too early to panic. Especially now. And as far as the next show goes, it's time to panic in Minnesota. It's time to panic in Dallas. It may be time to panic in Ottawa. It may be time to panic in San Jose and LA. But we'll get into that next week. So, thank you guys for coming. I'm sorry this is going to be a little bit of a short one, but to recap everything, the Islanders just need to stick to their system. Oliver Wahlstrom will be affected by that system when all the players come back. I don't think it's anything he's done. I think he's done really well for what he's played for so far, but I can't see him staying when Jordan Eberle comes back healthy because I'd rather have Eberle playing with Matt Barzal than Oliver Wahlstrom. That's just the bottom line. And for a kid who's only had 10 AHL games, I don't think it's enough. I don't. Okay. Even Kyle Oposo spent time in the American Hockey League before coming up. Oliver Wahlstrom has the potential to be more than Kyle Oposo, but I think there's more to his game that still needs to be developed, and he'd be better off serving that down in Bridgeport and letting Jordan Eberle and Matt Barzal chemistry grow and get better. Even Jordan Eberle, before he got injured, 3 points in 5 games. You're looking at mid 40s, mid 40 points right now. You're going to get 6 forwards, 6 tops. You're going to have 6 top 6 forwards when Jordan Eberle comes back. It's all there. You got to also have to wait for the identity line, the Matt Martin, Cal Clutterbuck, Casey Zizika's line to come back. We're waiting on Casey to come back healthy, 100%. And in all honesty, we're still searching for that third line. What is Michael Dal Cole going to bring? Anthony Beauvillier is off to a phenomenal start. And, it's early, but does Derek Brassard fit the system? He should. He should, and I think he's going to get better. I think they're all going to get better. Stop playing defensive-minded teams all the time, and I think the Islanders are going to get a little more time to breathe and, shoot the puck more, and, it's not going to be such a back and forth. But again, for me, the biggest concern for me, if I have anything throughout the first 8 games, Pulock, Pelech, and Leddy, and Mayfield, 4 points altogether total, 1 point each. That's not good. That's not going to get you anything. It's not. Those defensemen need to step up their offensive games and keep the puck in their offensive zone, which is one of the issues that the Islanders have been having lately. So, those are my thoughts on Oliver Wahlstrom. Great kid. Does he have to stay? I don't think so. I think there are other components to this Islander team that still needs to be fixed. Plus, again, if I really want anybody playing with Matt Barzal, it's Jordan Eberle. It really is. So we'll see what happens when the injuries are healed. We'll see what happens when Andrew Ladd comes back from his injury. But I would probably tell everyone right now to stay the course, probably through Thanksgiving. You made it through the first 10 games. You made it through the first 10 games. You've got 5 wins. You're going to be at worst 5-5. You're going to be okay, Islander fans. Okay. A lot of people don't start eliminating teams until like games 30 or 40. For the Islanders, I can't see it even being that early. It's a long season. Don't kill yourselves over the first 8 games. The offense will come. And if it doesn't, Lou will make moves before the trade deadline. That's just the way it's going to go. So, all right, everybody. That's going to take care of the Isles Talk vlogcast here. Season 2, episode 2. I would like to do another show. I'm thinking Saturday after the Ottawa and Arizona games. And we'll take a look at the Islanders end. I know I still have to do my prospect list. I'm going to be re-upping on that fairly soon, and we'll talk about that. And we're gonna talk about those first 10 games from every team, and we're gonna talk about who I may just eliminate from the playoff contention. So that's all coming up on Saturday. I'll give you guys more details during the week. So everyone enjoy their football. Everyone enjoy their postseason baseball, except for Yankees fans. And we will see you guys next week. Take care, guys. And as always, let's go Islanders.